Hello, my name is Christian. Welcome to a space where we dive deep into what it really means to be a man today. The title might have you thinking that we're here to talk about the usual tropes of masculinity: strength, resilience, bravado, but today we're going off the beaten path. What if I told you that true strength lies not in how much you can bench press or how stoically you face adversity, but in how vulnerable you can be to listen, to truly connect with those around you? Today we're exploring the unseen battles, the power of reaching out, and the surprising strength found in our most vulnerable moments. In this exploration, we'll share stories, including my own, revealing the challenges we face when we step outside the confines of traditional masculinity. We'll talk about the pain of loss, the search for support in times of desperation, and the societal expectations that often weigh heavily on our shoulders. But this isn't just a reflection, it's a call to action, a challenge to redefine what it means to be a man by embracing empathy, fostering genuine connections, and supporting each other through the highs and lows of life. So, before you think you've heard this all before and click away, I ask you to stay. Join me in this conversation, and let's uncover together what it truly takes to be a man. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Stepping right into the heart of our journey, let's talk about a skill, an art really, that's often overlooked: listening. But I'm not talking about the passive hearing of words while waiting for your turn to speak. I'm talking about listening, the kind that connects souls. Through my own ups and downs, it became crystal clear to me the moments that I felt truly seen weren't when I was talking, but when I felt heard. It's a realization that came sharply into focus through my friendship with Raheem. Our endless conversations and shared silences taught me the immense power of truly being present for somebody. Listening is an act of bravery. It requires setting aside our own narratives to fully immerse in another's experience. It's about empathy, connecting with another beyond words. And in today's fast-paced world where genuine connections can feel fleeting, taking the time to listen to someone is revolutionary. I want to challenge you. The next time you're in a conversation, try to really listen, not just to respond, but to understand, to connect, to feel. You'll be amazed at how much deeper your relationships can grow from this simple shift in focus. In listening, we offer a safe space for others to open up, but we also open ourselves up to learn, to grow, and to be changed by what we hear. I want us to commit to truly being there for one another with open ears and open hearts. The greatest gift that we can give anyone is our full attention, our presence, and our listening ear. In our journey today, there's a chapter that's particularly hard for me to open, but I believe it holds a lot of power and understanding not only what it means to be a man, but what it means to be human. It's about my friend Raheem, my brother, in every way but blood. He was the embodiment of what a lot of people consider to be the pinnacle of masculinity, especially as a black man in our community. Raheem was admired for his unwavering stability and his aura of being well put together, a beacon for those navigating their own struggles. Raheem and I shared countless memories, from dreams shared under starlit skies to the laughter that echoed on endless drives home after running around the city. He brought light into every room, every heart he touched. Yet, beneath his radiant smile, there were shadows we never fully explored, pains unspoken, battles fought in solitude. The day Raheem disappeared, a part of me went with, the day that Raheem disappeared, a part of me went with him. The search, the unanswered questions, the hope that dwindled after each passing day. It was a torment that I wouldn't wish on anybody. And when we finally found him, it wasn't the reunion that we'd prayed for. His loss was a wound that seemed too deep to ever heal. Through the pain of losing Raheem, I was faced with a stark truth. The facades of strength we wear, the silence that we cloak ourselves in, could have devastating consequences. It made me question everything I knew about being strong, about being a man. The mystery surrounding Raheem's disappearance and passing underscores a painful truth. The very ideals we strive for in masculinity, the stoicism, the self-sufficiency, can also be our prison. Raheem, in all his outward glory, navigated his struggles in isolation, a silence born from embodying that perfect image of strength. His story is a stark reminder of the cost of our silence, of the vital need for spaces where vulnerabilities can be shared openly and without fear. In grappling with his absence, I've come to learn the importance of reaching out, of truly seeing those around us, and of the courage it takes to share our own darkness with others. Raheem's story, his loss, it's a reminder to all of us. We must dare to connect, to listen, and to love fiercely and openly. In the midst of my struggle with Raheem's loss, there was a night that stands out starkly against the backdrop of my grief. A night when the loneliness felt crushing, when the silence around me was deafening. I reached for my phone, but it was too late to call a friend or a family member, so I called a number I never thought I would need, the suicide prevention hotline. I remember the phone ringing, the anticipation, the desperate hope for a voice on the other end to reassure me that everything was going to be okay. But instead of a greeting, I was met with a busy signal. There I was, at what I felt was the end of my rope, and nothing. The irony of it, a hotline that was too busy to take my call, struck me with a force that was almost comical. If it wasn't so tragic, I had to laugh after throwing my phone against the wall. That moment, that laugh in the face of despair, it was a turning point for me. Not because it brought any resolution, but because it pointed at a profound truth. We're not alone in our struggles. That busy signal, a sign not of abandonment, but of a shared human condition. A world full of people reaching out for help, just like me. It made me realize the importance of continuing to reach out, of not letting just one setback silence me on my journey. And it's a reminder that I want to share with you. Sometimes help isn't immediate, and the path to finding it is winding and fraught. But don't let that discourage you. Each attempt, each call is a step towards the light, towards healing. If you ever find yourself dialing that number, know this: you are not alone. You're taking a brave step towards not just surviving, but thriving. And if the line is busy, if the wait feels endless, please try again. There are countless hands waiting to pull you back from the edge, to walk alongside you as you find your way back to yourself. And to those of you who work on the other end of that line, offering help to strangers in the night, thank you. Your work is a beacon of light in a world that feels too dark. In the narrative of our lives, there's a chapter that too often remains unwritten, hidden behind the stoic facades we're taught to uphold. It's the story of our struggles, of the silent battles we wage in the quiet of our own minds. Today, we're shining the spotlight on that silence. Silence can be a fortress, a place of apparent safety, but its walls are built on isolation and misunderstanding. Breaking through that silence, it's not just an act of courage, it's a liberation, a way to reclaim our humanity and connect with each other on a most genuine level. It begins with a single voice, yours, mine, ours, speaking up about our mental health, sharing our stories of struggles. It does more than just free us individually. It creates a ripple effect, challenging others to find their voice, to reach out, to connect. I challenge you, as I challenge myself, to be that voice. Whether it's with a friend, a support group, or on a larger platform, every word spoken out against the silence strengthens the bridge between isolation and unity. Breaking the silence isn't a solitary journey. It's a collective movement, a testament to our strength and resilience. It's about creating a world where no one has to suffer in silence, where our mental health is not a whisper, but a conversation, loud and clear. As we navigate our journey towards understanding and compassion, we encounter a towering yet invisible presence that shapes our paths: patriarchy. It's a term that echoes through discussions of gender and society, often misunderstood, yet undeniably influential in shaping the narrative of what it means to be a man. Patriarchy in its essence isn't just about who holds power in society. It's about the expectations and the roles and the rules that we're all slotted into from the moment that we're born. It dictates a version of masculinity that prizes stoicism over emotional expression, dominance over partnership, and solitude over vulnerability. This framework doesn't just limit women. It cages men in a cycle of emotional suppression, creating barriers to mental health awareness and support. The strong, silent type, a caricature of masculinity revered by many, becomes a mask, hiding the true cost of patriarchy, a cost measured in lost connections, unspoken pains, and lives tragically cut short. But here's where we find our power to redefine, to dismantle these archaic norms brick by brick. It's about recognizing the roles we all play in perpetuating these expectations, and choosing instead to celebrate vulnerability, to honor emotional strength, and to forge new definitions of what it means to be strong. Imagine a world where our sons, our brothers, our fathers, are free to express their fears, their hopes, their dreams without the shadow of stigma, where mental health is not a battleground, but a common ground, fostering connections that transcend the barriers built by outdated ideals. Let's challenge the narrative. Let's talk about our struggles, listen to each other's stories, and support one another in seeking help when we need it. Together we can dismantle the patriarchy's grip on our mental health and step into a future where the measure of a man is his humanity and not his ability to conform to some unattainable ideal. Breaking free from the constraints of patriarchy isn't just about men's mental health. It's about enriching the tapestry of human experience for everybody. It's crucial to engage with the myriad perspectives that make this conversation both challenging and enriching. Recognizing the diversity of opinions and experiences is essential in shaping a comprehensive understanding of what it means to be a man in today's world. So many argue that traditional tenets of masculinity, such as stoicism and resilience, serve as foundational pillars of male identity, offering a sense of stability and direction. The perspective that what has been must continue to be underscores a belief in the enduring value of these conventions. However, it's imperative to ask the question, at what cost do these values hold their ground? When the silence enforced by stoicism leads to isolation, and when resilience morphs into the unwillingness to seek help, the narrative necessitates a critical examination. The heart of this discourse isn't about discarding the virtues traditionally associated with masculinity, but about broadening the scope to include the strength inherent in vulnerability, emotional openness, and compassion. By weaving these qualities into the fabric of what it means to be a man, we invite a richer, more holistic approach to male identity. One that permits men to live as fuller versions of themselves, unencumbered by the constraints of outdated norms. Addressing counter-arguments is not about negating the validity of differing views, but about enriching the conversation with understanding that masculinity can be vast and varied. It acknowledges that strength can coexist with vulnerability, that seeking support can be as commendable as self-reliance, and that emotional expression enriches rather than diminishes our humanity. In embracing this complexity, we're called to listen, to act, to reflect, and to engage in a dialogue with openness and respect. It's through these exchanges that we can navigate the very terrain of masculinity, acknowledging the legitimacy of traditional perspectives while advocating for an expanded narrative that embraces the full spectrum of male experiences and emotions. I want to venture into a realm deeply personal and universally challenging: grief and loss. Traditionally, men are handed a map that directs us towards stoicism, guiding us to navigate our sorrows in solitude, where emotions are mountains to be silently endured. My own journeys into the valleys of loss has made clear the inadequacies of this map. The loss of Raheem, a figure of strength and stability for many, especially as a black man who personified the image of masculinity, revealed the silent struggles hidden behind a facade of invulnerability. His disappearance, shrouded in mystery, leaves us grappling with unanswered questions and the profound impact of societal pressures on our willingness to share and connect. There are moments that define our understanding of strength, vulnerability, and the profound depth of loss. One such chapter in my life was the loss of my godmother to breast cancer. More than a relative, she was a beacon of guidance, a source of unconditional love and support, illuminating the complexities of growing up with her wisdom and her kindness. The news of her battle, and ultimately of her passing, brought a tidal wave of grief that I found myself ill-equipped to navigate in the open. It was a sorrow so sharp, so raw, that I sought refuge in the only place I felt that I could truly be alone with my emotions: in the basement. In the quiet of that dimly lit space, I allowed myself to cry, to mourn her absence away from the eyes of the world, embodying the silent stoicism often expected of men in their moments of deepest sorrow. This retreat into solitude, while a testament to the love and bond that I shared with my godmother, also laid bare the constraints placed upon us by societal norms. The expectation that as a man, even a young one, I should bear my grief in silence, without the comfort of shared sorrow or the embrace of communal support, reflects the broader narrative of masculine stoicism we're often compelled to navigate. The tears I shed in the basement were a silent cry, not just for the loss of my godmother, but for the freedom to express my grief without bounds. It was a moment that, though steeped in isolation, sparked a journey towards understanding the true nature of strength, not as an absence of emotion, but as the courage to feel, to share our most human experiences. Reflecting on those silent tears, I recognize them now as a pivotal step on the path to redefining what it means to grieve as a man. It's a chapter that underscores the importance of creating spaces where we can mourn openly, support each other unreservedly, and emerge strengthened by our shared humanity. These experiences have taught me that true strength lies not in the concealment of our pain, but in our capacity to confront it, to share our stories of loss, and to seek and offer support. Grieving as a man should not be a journey of isolation, but one of connection, one where our sorrows can be shared, not as burdens, but as bridges, linking us through our common humanity. If you're walking through the shadow of grief, let this be a beacon of hope. You don't have to navigate this path alone. Embracing vulnerability, expressing sorrow, and allowing others to join you in your journey can illuminate the way forward. Through the shared experiences of loss and the communal process of healing, we find not just solace but strength, not merely personal healing, but the foundation of a collective resurgence of empathy and understanding. I want us as men to redefine the way we approach grief and loss. Let's build spaces where our emotional truths are embraced and where our stories of pain and love are met with open hearts. By honoring the memories of those we've lost, like Raheem and my godmother, we affirm our commitment to a more connected, emotionally open masculinity. Navigating grief is a profoundly personal journey, but it's one that we can make less daunting by facing together. In the act of sharing our losses and our healing, we not only honor those we've lost, but also fortify our bonds with each other, paving the way for a future where men can mourn openly and support one another through life's most challenging moments. In our conversation of what it truly takes to be a man in today's world, there's a crucial piece of the puzzle that deserves our full attention: mental health resources and support networks. It's about transforming our understanding and approach to seeking help, from a journey we embark on in solitude to one we navigate with a compass of community and connection. Let's get practical. The landscape of mental health support is vast and varied, offering numerous paths to those in search of guidance, understanding, or simply a listening ear. Whether it's calling a hotline in a moment of crisis, engaging in therapy or coaching to unravel the threads of our inner worlds, or finding solidarity in support groups, both in person and online, the options are more accessible than ever. But I want to address something head on: the stigma that still shadows the act of reaching out. To seek help is not to admit defeat. It's to embrace the strength of knowing we're all part of a larger, interconnected community. It's a step toward not just healing, but thriving. If you're wondering where to start, begin with a conversation. Talk to someone you trust, explore local resources, or dive into the digital world like Discord servers, where communities await to welcome you with open arms. Therapy isn't a last resort. It's a proactive tool for maintaining mental wellness. For those who found their way through the darkness, consider being a beacon for others. Share your journey, offer your support, and join the ranks of those breaking down barriers and building bridges. Mental health resources and support networks are keys to unlocking a life marked not just by the struggle to survive, but by the courage to thrive. As we weave through these narratives and insights, the path forward beckons not just with reflection, but with tangible steps. Transitioning from thought to action, here are practical ways to embrace a more nuanced and empathetic masculinity in our daily lives. Begin with introspection. Embrace the power of self-reflection to unearth your inner landscape. This could be as simple as dedicating a few minutes each day to contemplate your feelings and reactions, perhaps through journaling or meditation. It's about asking ourselves, what influences my ideas of strength? Am I acting for myself, or am I performing for societal approval? Lean into vulnerability. Identify opportunities to share parts of yourself that you would usually guard. It could be fear, an aspiration, or moments you felt less than invincible. Share it with someone you trust. Recognizing vulnerability as a form of bravery is a vital step to dismantling outdated constructs of masculinity. Cultivate a supportive network. Seek out spaces where the nuances of male identity and emotional well-being are openly discussed. Likewise, be that pillar of understanding for others, offering a space where they can express themselves without judgment. When faced with traditional stereotypes of masculinity, take a moment to question their validity and utility. Whether it's in media portrayals, everyday conversations, or even our self-talk, questioning these narratives can help erode their influences. Expand your knowledge. Delve into resources that explore the multifaceted reality of being a man. From documentaries and books to podcasts, broadening your perspective can illuminate the diverse experiences of manhood. Consider starting with the works of The Mask You Live In or Bell Hooks' The Will to Change. Express yourself. Find healthy outlets for your emotions. Creativity, physical activity, and therapy are just a few avenues through which you can express and process feelings. Challenging the notion that emotional restraint is a hallmark of manliness. Commit to growth. Acknowledge that redefining masculinity is an ongoing process, one that requires patience, resilience, and an openness to evolve. Regularly take stock of your journey, celebrate your progress, and set intentions for your continued path of self-discovery. It's essential that we talk not just at each other, but with each other. This journey towards understanding and redefining what it means to be a man is not just mine, it's ours, and it thrives on the diversity of our voices and the depth of our shared and individual experiences. I Want Men Need Help to be more than just a one-way street. It's a forum for exchange, learning, and growth. So here's how we can turn this conversation into a truly interactive experience. Share your story, whether it's in the comments below, through social media, or even in your own communities. Share your journeys. What does masculinity mean to you? How have you navigated the expectations placed upon you? And what lessons have you learned along the way? If there's anything you're curious about, or if there's a topic you'd like to see explored further, let me know. Your questions can spark new discussions and lead us down uncharted paths of inquiry. Take the time to read through the comments and engage with other viewers' stories and questions. Your insights and support can make a world of difference to someone struggling to find their voice or seeking advice on similar challenges. If you've come across any helpful resources, books, articles, videos, or podcasts that have shaped your understanding of masculinity or helped you through difficult times, please share them. Let's compile a community-curated list of tools for growth and support. From time to time, I'll be posting polls and surveys to gather your opinions on various topics related to masculinity. This will help us get a broader sense of our community's perspectives and guide the direction of future content. This channel is a shared space, a community built on the belief that every man's journey is valuable and that together we can forge a path towards a more empathetic, understanding version of masculinity. So I encourage you, join in, contribute, and let's create a dialogue that not only challenges us, but also supports us and uplifts us. As we near the end of our journey today, it's clear that what it takes to be a man in today's world is far removed from the narrow pathways we've been conditioned to walk. But this isn't where our conversation ends. It's where it truly begins. Each story shared, every moment of understanding extended, each hand reached out in support, weaves a stronger fabric of community. One that holds the power to redefine masculinity in the most beautiful human terms. Take care, stay connected, and let's continue to support each other every step of the way. See you in the next video.